I stood there for like all of 10 minutes. Security eyed me up. I got out of there.
Montrealer Jon Egilsson was asked to leave the CHUM emergency room when he sought shelter from the cold. An increase in Quebec hospital emergency rooms being used as shelters by the unhoused here has led to some hospitals upping security. A cold snap has descended on the city, leaving many overnight shelters at maximum capacity, forcing them to turn people away.
When I initially lost my apartment this time around, I went to Welcome Hall, Salvation Army. There was another one whose name I can't recall, and all of them were full.
We are at capacity almost all the time, and frankly have been for about a year and a half or 2 years. Across our 4 emergency facilities, we'll refuse approximately 30 to 50 people every night.
It is miserably cold out there, and I'm kind of sympathetic towards the places like the hospitals because I understand that they're pretty packed to begin with. Adding in a whole bunch of homeless people, like it's not a warming center realistically, but you got to have somewhere to go, and there's not really many warming. I'm homeless and I don't know of any warming centers.
The phenomenon of people who are unhoused using emergency rooms is not new. That's been going on for a while, but the numbers are such that, as you say, hospitals are starting to have to adjust because 10%, 15, 20, sometimes even more percentage of their emergency rooms are occupied by homeless people.
James Hughes from the Old Brewery Mission says solutions include expanding the emergency service network based on 24/7 services, more housing, and focusing on prevention. The McGill University Health Centre tells City News that they've had to increase security and deploy more social workers, but assure that the level of care remains unaffected for all patients. The regional health authority in charge of Notre Dame Hospital confirms that it's facing an increase in the number of homelessness people in its emergency services, particularly during periods of extreme cold, and add that they're making every effort possible to protect the most vulnerable in its territory. Just last month, a 55-year-old man was found unconscious outdoors and later died of suspected hypothermia, according to Montreal police. Something that didn't surprise John.
I had a friend pass away, I think it was last year or so. They burned to death in a porta potty. It was way too cold out. They went in, lit a little fire. They ended up passing out from the fumes. Be nice to homeless people. I don't know, that's about it. I understand that sometimes we're a bit of a pain in the ass, but we're trying just as hard as you are at the end of the day.
In Montreal, Erin Seize, City News.